Right, it's Monday. Met Simon yesterday at the East Cleveland Classic and going to Colville today to meet Matt and pick up my road bike, TT bike. So going to be a little bit delayed, but going to be able to pick up my road bike, bring that back, and then build that up over the next few days at home. Should be good, exciting. Move to a modern bike with disc brakes that can actually stop on a whim. Big fat tyres, maybe go tubeless, not sure. Either TPUs or tubeless. Head to Colville now and pick up the bike. Right, I've arrived. So yeah, I plan to just get the road bike, but Matt had the TT bike ready, and they were just missing front wheel, so I can use the front wheel that I'm getting with the road. I've got with the road bike, so I'll set that up, and yeah, should be aim to race on the new Trinity at the weekend. So I've managed to get them both in the car and padded them out as best as possible. I think there's no movement there, so they should be absolutely fine. But yeah, take a steady on the way home, and yeah, got both bikes in tow. Good to meet Kate and Matt, and yeah, super helpful. And Matt had like a free 45 minutes before his next client, so he's like set the final things up on the Trinity. So it's pretty much, well, I need to sort out a few things when I get home, but should be ready to race on it. So yeah. Very careful journey home considering the value of our cargo, but yeah, made it. But back now, the packing seemed to work well. There was not much movement of the bike, any movement of the bikes in the back, so they should be absolutely fine. I've got the bikes now because Matt's going to be away for a couple of weeks, so gives me the chance to try and set them up, try my best to set them up, and then bring the TT bike in for a proper fit in a few weeks' time. But yeah, pretty cool, huh? Make sure nothing was leaning on the hangers and such, so I think they should all be fine. Just get out for 2 hours zone 2 to de-stress after getting 20 odd grand worth of bike back in my little Skoda. But unexpected, but a very nice surprise. Obviously massive thanks to Matt for taking the shot on me this year, having me join the team. So just got to get some national championships under the belt, get some wins for the team, show it's worthwhile, and yeah, keep progressing. Bloody windy one, Jesus. Hey guys, it's Tuesday, got a TT threshold session today, and plan is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this session on the old bike. I've just had a film of my position and seeing like the position I've been working towards on this bike, and then in the next few days try and set up the Trinity, ideally have the Trinity set up and put on the turbo for tomorrow, and then I can play around with the adjustments of the extensions at the front to try and get into a similar sort of position. I think Matt's already set it up in a very similar way to how I had it set up, but play around with that a little bit to try and get it matched, because I'm very happy with my current position where it's not trying to do any sort of shrug, because I don't think that really works for me. It's just trying to have those vertical biceps and then sink my head into that gap between my arms, but also looking over the top of my hand, so maintaining that visibility. So from the saddle I have like a relatively steep back angle to make sure there's good tension in the lower back and good power transfer from my back to my legs, and then the back flattens out, and hopefully a nice transition with the helmet. So that looks good to me. That's what I've been working towards, and then like I say, try and get a similar sort of setup on the Trinity, because I'd ideally want to race on that on Friday. So hopefully I can get the bike set up. TT threshold session today. I'll crack on with that now that I'm done with the filming. Right, so what I've got on the cards for today's session, I've got a 3 minute sub-maximal fatigue test, 15-minute tempo, be about 320 watts, and then I've got a 30-minute threshold effort, so compared to 45 minutes last week, and just aiming for the same power. I've averaged 355, 355 for the last few weeks. I'm aiming to do the same today, but for a significantly less time, so I'm definitely taking it easy this week. Had an easy ride yesterday, then I've got training today, training tomorrow, easy day Thursday, and then race on Friday, and then I'm taking the weekend off. So definitely easing off the gas this week, even though I'm not feeling like overly fatigued or anything, but I'm back to racing now, so I want to take that rest before it creeps up on me. Nice and easy session today. Might try a couple of torque efforts as well, just like maintenance, see how they are on the TT bike with speedplay pedals at the end. But I can go either way on them, I reckon. Crack on with things, see how we go. Done my 3 minutes of maximal fatigue test. I'll just ignore the data from the 4 eyes. Yeah, haven't dual recorded in a while, and I was thinking that I've been making some good improvements with my left leg. So maybe I'll bring that power balance into alignment with my left-sided power meters reading lower and my kicker core reading higher. Probably a similar offset to normal, so either it's probably less likely that I've got this leg imbalance. It's probably just that the left-sided power meters either read lower or normal, and then the kicker reads high. But I know in terms of training, like I see a power drop off indoors. That's kind of offset by the difference in the power meters almost. Let's say the single-sided power meters are accurate, then 350 watts indoors on the kicker is 330 on the single-sided, but the effort level to do 350 on the single-sided outside is about the same as 350 on the kicker, because I see that drop off indoors. You'll record it, see what the quark looks like on the Trinity. If anything, quarks read high, so be interesting to see what it says compared to the kicker. Try and get that set up to test that out tomorrow. Time to exhaustion, 14 minutes. RPE 7, nice and under control. Something like that. It's warm, but not as warm as it has been. Haven't been cooling as aggressively either. Haven't got the ice vest on, but core temp's only 38.2, so not steaming yet. Do my tempo effort, then get on with the main bit of the session. Good session that, 30 minutes at just under 350 watts, 349. Because I'm dropping down in volume for this rest week, I know it'd be easy to get carried away and push like 360, 370, so made sure I wanted to stay like around what I've done for the last 2 weeks, kind of undershot it to start off with, and then I pick it up a little bit at the end. But yeah, good, nice and under control. Warmer than I was expecting. It wasn't as warm as the last 2 weeks, but I get like super sweaty, but it's not so hot that sweat's just evaporating and then I like stop sweating. Just drenched for the whole effort. But yeah, it was good. Also on longer cranks, back on 170s from 165, but yeah, minor differences. My hip angle's so tight. That half a centimetre. Do a couple of torque efforts. Yeah, that's me done. Try and do some work on the Trinity. Get the tyres sorted. Not too bad on the torque efforts there. They didn't feel horrific. Definitely a lot more relaxed about them. Just stick over mode in 420 and then somewhere between 45 and 50 RPM. Just getting used to being able to push big gear. Should be able to maintain that work that I established during the winter, but building that up. They're hard, but I can do them. I can really notice that outside, like when on your rolling roads, when there's a change in gradient, ideally you'd shift down a lot of gears. I can shift down a couple of gears and increase the torque and still feel pretty comfortable. So I just have that range of cadences. I'm okay pedaling at a low cadence, but then naturally I really like riding a high cadence too. Master them all. In about half an hour or so, just under 3 hours maybe. Right, trying to sort out bike stuff. Took the chains off the bikes yesterday and got them degreasing, so they're in white spirit at the moment on their second wash, so they should be ready. We'll get them ready by tomorrow. So yeah, sorting out the rest of the stuff with the bike. I don't think there's much to set up really. It's just the tyres on the wheels, and Matt had already put tubeless sealant in the rear wheel, so I mean it's my first time with tubeless, so I'm like want to make sure it's all right. Seated again when I pumped it up, and it's got sealant in there. And I was originally planning on, for the wheels that came with the Propel, so that's the front wheel, the rear wheel, I was originally planning on, I've got 30mm GP5Ks, planning on putting just TPU inner tubes in there, but the tubeless valve that comes set up on it, this nut here is super tight, so I couldn't really get that undone. I don't know if they use a tool, but even if you use a tool and did it that tight, you'd just like strip the threads, because they're like It's plastic and it's so tight. I wasn't able to get that off, so I was like, okay, let's see how the tyre seats, and was able to get the tyre on all right. These are hookless wheels. See if it can pump up. Like, I wasn't expecting it to seat, but it looks like it's all seated properly. So I'll deflate that tyre and fill it with sealant, and hopefully that's all good to go. First time with tubeless, so just experiment, make sure it's all right. If it's not, if I'm unsure about things, I probably won't ride the bike at the weekend, but hopefully I can get it properly set up and confident to do that. I took the chain off, and it was just came with factory grease. Chain ring and the pulley wheels were like slightly greasy. This had a wax chain on it before because there was bits of wax on it, so just clean that up with just some IPA in a rag, and tried my best to clean up the ceramic speed OSPWs. Look at that, the flex. Try my best to clean those up with this furrier cage on it. I might need to take that off to get the chain back on, so I'll give, if I do that, then I'll be able to give the jockey wheels a bit more of a final clean before I put the wax chain on to not contaminate the wax chain. That tyre's pumped up. This one's pumped up. I might as well just check that it all goes all right in the bike. Then it's feasible to ride around on it because I haven't got flat tyres. We're making progress. Here we go. I have a bike with 2 wheels. Yeah, so I'll take that front one off, have a go at putting some sealant in it, and yeah, hopefully that's all right. Gloves on. Doing this in the bathroom for sure. Don't want to speak too soon, but yeah, that worked really, really easily because I put the tyre on first, then inflated it. It went on really quite easily. 40ml of sealant in there. The bottle that came with the bike has 125ml, so did about a third of a bottle. Seated the tyre again, and then pumped it up just with a track pump, and it pinged on the rim again. So yeah, it's properly seated. So I think it's all right. Was expecting that to be a real faff, but yeah, it didn't even make a mess really. Don't want to speak too soon, obviously. Might have some tubeless woes in the next few days. My grandma, she has 2 wheels. Disc brakes. Hey guys, Wednesday. Just doing 2.5 hours zone 2 on the turbo today, and spending some good time in TT position. Then I got rest day tomorrow with a couple of openers, I guess. Ride the Trinity, see what that's like. Get that outdoors. Make sure the brakes are bedded in properly. Hopefully racing on it on Friday. So plan for today is getting this session done, so last 10 minutes now. I'm going to move my turbo upstairs, get the Trinity on the turbo. Obviously I need to change the cassette. I do have a 12-speed SRAM cassette and the different free hub that goes on the Wahoo kicker, and then change the adapter so you can use a through axle and put the bike on and then play around with the adjustments. Try and get the fit similar to the Cervelo, so just compare them, go back and forth and try and get that dialed in. Yeah, finishing up waxing. Finished fully degreasing that over the last few days and then waxed it this morning, so that should be almost dry. Put that on the bike and then ride it, or maybe I'll have to wait till tomorrow. Lots of things to be cracking on with this afternoon, but finish up this ride now and then, yeah, do my best to see what I can get done. Yeah, I've waxed the chain so I can put that on the bike. The propel that I've got, so got that, I'll wax that. Next step is trying to convert the kicker to through axle and put this 12-speed SRAM cassette on it as well. The XDR free hubs, it's got the threads on the free hub body that you tighten the cassette onto, and I'm not a fan of that, and I thought the threads were kind of fucked on this cassette or the free hub body. Maybe the threads aren't the best at the start of the cassette, but the free hub body seemed fine, and with some, it was feeling really stiff, but put some copper slip on it and used a bigger spanner rather than my dinky little adjustable one, and yeah, it went on really smoothly. Take this upstairs and see if I can put the Trinity on it. This is a cassette and the free hub that originally came with the kicker when I got it second hand, and it was like the start of my YouTube series where one of the things I did was get the Shimano one so that I could put a proper 11-speed Shimano cassette on my trainer to get proper shifting sorted. Success. Bike is on the turbo. I plug it in, get the rest of it set up, and then I can have a play around with it. Need to put a chain on it though, don't I? Right, very nice progress. Got a chain on the bike, got it on the turbo. Yeah, pedal it through to break up the wax chain a bit, and then re-clean off the chain rings because they'll get a bunch of wax on them. But yeah, all working well. Also removed and properly degreased the SRAM cassette that Matt had on the rear wheel. So it's a 1028. But yeah, it was just a little bit greasy from the factory grease from the chain, so properly degreased that with some water soluble degreaser, and dried that off. So pop that back on the rear wheel. Use copper slip on the threads for sure, and a proper size spanner. There we go. Pretty noisy free hub that. Then I'll put this is a Shimano 11 speed with Shimano free hub that I can switch in for on the kicker core, and then keep the adapters in here and keep it in this box just to keep everything together nice and neat. So the current mount doesn't exactly work because it's too deep, so you can't actually get the Wahoo on the mount because it's too far down for how high these are. Matt knew this was an issue. Coming up with an alternative solution, so I've got my old light wrapped. Can wrap that onto the extension. Looks like a fucking torpedo, but no, works really well. And then I was thinking I've got a Wahoo mount that I have on my winter bike that just wraps around the handlebar, and I was thinking put that mount, zip tie that to the light, so then I've got the light with my Wahoo, and that's all secure. It's a bit far down, but I mean, it'll do the job. Well, I don't know if that's a hack or a bodge, but works quite nicely. Completely changed my setup. Moved my PC upstairs. The turbo, obviously. Got my old bike and comparing the geometry to the new one, and Matt's already set it up in a way that's pretty similar to my current bike, so I'll play around with it a little bit tomorrow on the turbo, and just check the position all feels okay, and also get out on the road to actually bed in the brake pads, get used to what disc brakes feel like, because this will be my first time on disc brakes. So yeah, should be good. Weather's better tomorrow, and then race on Friday. Start sheets just come. Spin data predictions have just come out. Right, trying to have first play on the Trinity. Just gonna hop on and see if I can get the cork to connect to the Wahoo. Probably have to download an app and calibrate that. Probably same with the SRAM Axis stuff. Right, download the Axis app and just checked all the components and the charge's all good on them, and I was able to calibrate the cork power meter from the Axis app, which is nice. There's some firmware updates, but it's not immediately going through, so I'll just it's shifting fine at the moment, so I reckon I'll try that next week rather than messing around with that now. Same with the shifters, where so in the extensions my right shifter goes up and my left shifter goes down, but in the base bars there's also blips there, but they're the wrong way around, so right is going down the cassette, going to easier gear when it should be going to a harder gear. Flip for the base bar, but I don't really shift in the base bar. I'm not used to shifting in the base bar, so I'm not too concerned about that, and I'll try and switch that around sometime next week. But yeah, I'll hop on the turbo, check everything's all right, clear some wax off the chain rings and the pulley wheels, and then get out on the road and see what that's like. With how the bike's set up at the moment, it's mainly the saddle that's different, and I need to sit further backwards in this type of saddle. Basically just means the reach is longer, and I still feel relatively comfortable just getting a bit further backwards in the saddle and then extending my reach further forward, and the shrug doesn't do much for me, but just that little bit of the shrug, you know, bringing those shoulders slightly forward. It does make me slightly narrower, it's only marginal, but it feels comfortable. The comfortableness of the extensions, because the cups are so much bigger on the forearms, I'm feeling comfortable. Roll the shoulders forward a little bit, and because the extensions are really, there's much more surface area to them, I can do that. So that might be the case that I just do a little bit of a shrug. Wax chain's mostly broken in, but I'm just gonna clean off some of that wax that's got on the OSPWs. Just get off the excess really. Big chain ring's not too bad. Now my only concern is I'm a big old lump of coal. I'm like 83, 84 kilos at the moment. The bike is very chunks out and it's relatively heavy actually. It's probably 10 kilos. So that's like 93, 94 kilos of system weight, which is a lot heavier than most. Wheels being hookless, the pressure limit on them 72, 73 psi. So I'm going to be running 70 psi on them. That's absolutely fine. Looking at tyre pressure calculator, Silk tyre pressure calculator, that seems absolutely fine for the 30mm front tyre. That's pretty much measures, I reckon that measures about 30. But the rear wheel, it's a 28mm tyre, measures roughly 28 as well. So for 70 psi in the front is fine, but 70 psi in the back is actually quite low. It's recommending more like 80. Because it's tubeless, you can get away with lower pressure, but I don't know, it might just feel a bit squelchy. I tend to run the higher pressures being a heavier guy. But yeah, I'll see what 70 feels like out on the road, and yeah, get out on the maiden voyage on the Trinity. Time for the Trinity's maiden voyage. Not just my first time on the bike, first time on disc brakes, first time on SRAM. So yeah, main thing is with the disc brakes is I need to bed in the brake pads, so do a bunch of braking, because the braking power, how it's meant to work with disc brakes is the braking power increases as the pads get bedded in, so you need to get used to that braking power, as it will get stronger to start off with, and then it will stabilise at a standardised braking power, and just getting a feel for what that feels like, the balance of the bike obviously, and yeah. Here we are, let's get out on that weapon. Doesn't help with how windy it is for the first ride. Like, it feels a bit weird having that low pressure in the rear tyre. Like it's hard to tell it, and I can't see if it's like squelching because of the nature of the disc. I can't really tell what the tyre looks like. But yeah, just gotta trust it'll be fine. Just head back now. Feel a bit more comfortable. Like, see if I can get into the position down the hill. It's so fucking busy out on the roads. Like, why? But maybe do a bit of an effort up the hill. I'll just have to just to get this 62 tooth moving. Of course, I'm on edge riding the new bike for the first time, and the roads are fucking rammed. It's like 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock now. It's like bank holiday tomorrow, so everyone gets off work at lunchtime apparently. And they're just pulling out on you. Good job I'm in the base bar so I can actually access the brakes if they're just fucking pulling out on me. Fucking hell, these drivers are fucking useless. Got round, got a bit of a ride on it, might get out on it later as well. Yeah. Good first impressions of the bike. Yeah, just shit roads, shit drivers, pretty standard affair. 9:45 and I've arrived in Hull for the local 10 miler. Start time is 11:25, so got an hour and 40 minutes to get everything sorted. There's a spot just outside HQ, so I'll take it. I'm in a little car, so I can squeeze in here, go inside, go get my number and everything. Got myself an hour and 15 minutes to get my clothes on and do some warming up and just check the bike's all alright, and yeah, great cracking. Some mild cross tailwind on the way out, nothing serious, so ideally, based on my calculations, I think just ISO pacing split would be the way to go today. So I'd like to do that. However, first time trial of the season, I don't know what my power is looking like, and I'm also on a brand new power meter, so the cork probably reads higher because it's right sided. Yeah, I don't know. There's no reason why 400 watts isn't possible from the 4 eyes, and I might even be higher on the cork. So I could be. I'll mainly be riding to feel, to be honest. 390, 400 on the way out, and then if I have something left on the way back, then fantastic. Feeling it out and not overcooking it on the way out, obviously. But I'll have the power meter to rein me in and. But yeah, I shouldn't be going easy into that tailwind, because ISO pacing strategy, you go significantly faster in the tailwind section, and you're not saving energy necessarily for the headwind, because in the headwind area matters more anyway. So yeah, get all my stuff on, all the fucking super tight clothes, and yeah. Too busy stressing about the bike that I haven't been able to stress about the actual race. So 45 class bike's ready, and so I'll get off my warm up in a minute. Yeah, try and take best care of it possible. This is the mount that I've ended up fashioning, so I put some extra latex tubes around it just to dampen it, because on the bumpy roads of Sheffield it was bashing into these sections. But yeah, seems alright. Get out for a bit of a spin now. 17 minutes till the start. Get there nice and early. Yeah, bike feels really good on the warm up. Obviously, I'd still prefer to have high pressure in that rear tyre, but it's not too bad. And I'm happy with the mount I've fashioned for the Wahoo, but during the bumpy sections it does smack around, so that's not ideal, but we'll get the proper mount sorted soon. And maybe some wider tyres. Of course, the speeds come in at 29 mil as well, see if Matt has any of those. But yeah, should be absolutely cool. Looking forward to it. I was late this time last year, so I'm not going to make that same mistake. Well, that was an interesting one. The wind actually picked up a huge amount, and it was didn't feel like you got much wind on the way out, and I was being like relatively conservative, but I was going pretty quick. Like 55k an hour. Should have got all the course records on the way out. Yeah, I really struggled on the lumpy sections. When the road got bad, I was just getting tossed around on it, even with the big fat tyres. Maybe higher pressure in the rear tyre would be better for that, just because I'm used to it. But yeah, even with the lower pressure big tyres, you're still getting juggled around on the rough surface, and I guess because I'm so heavy as well. I struggled on the surface, and I was catching big gusts of wind, and the wind picked up so much. It was really windy, and I was just like, my front wheel was getting chopped, and I felt like I was swerving all over the place, to be honest. Obviously first time on the bike too. I mean, during my warm-up at lower speeds, I'm absolutely fine, but at race speed, it was not as good. Return leg, that was a lot of headwind. Yeah, I was going slow. I was going like 45k an hour, but went fast enough on the way out that I averaged like 48. So went sub 20 at least. Also, the SRAM, I just need to get used to the blips. Like there was a couple of times where I like double shifted. I'd click, it wouldn't shift, and I'd click again, and then it would shift twice. So I just need to trust it that it's going to actually shift when I click it. It's not as clicky a button as the Shimano one that I'm used to. But yeah, generally good. And most interesting thing was the power. Yeah, so using the new power meter, I calibrated it a couple of times yesterday. Didn't calibrate it before the ride, but yeah, 420 watts, which is, I was in two schools of thought. I was thinking either my kicker reads high, and my left-sided power meters are accurate, or they're both accurate, and it's just my left leg is weaker than my right leg. And on the Quark, it's saying that it does give even though it's on the right side, it gives a left-right average, and it's saying 47 to 53. So it's saying that my left leg is weaker, and that kind of explains why. So 400 watts on my left-sided four eyes from last season. So a couple of 10 milers I did Levens at 400 watts, and I did the National at just under 400. But that was probably more like 420, and that was something I'd partly suspected, but I didn't have like enough data to say, okay, this is definitely the case, that my kick is accurate and my four eyes is accurate, and my left leg's weaker. But the Quark is saying that, so that's interesting. So it turns out I'm not very aero. I'm producing more watts than I thought I was. But yeah, a lot easier to work on than gaining 20 watts of raw power. So I'm definitely a power athlete, and just improve the aero, go get a proper bike fit with Matt, try out a bunch of things, bunch of kit, and yeah, smash it up at all the championships this year. Get me out of this kit. I did do a 20-minute warm up, just 20-minute cool down. So wind is so windy, because the thing is, it's so flat out here in Hull, York. It's so exposed. Like when the wind hits, you're so exposed to it. Right, need to change and then go inside. One of the last starters, plus a 20-minute cool down, plus me generally being a bit of a faffer, meant I ended up missing the presentation by a few minutes. But had a good chat with the timekeeper, the one who lent me her coat last year, after I was 30 seconds late to the start, and I chatted to her at the start of the race, and then back in the back at the village hall at the end, and so I won the event, and there was a trophy to go with it, so I got a photo with the trophy even though I missed the main presentation. Got myself 40 quid in prize money, which is nice. Need to get the trophy engraved, and then the guy will pay for it. Get on back now. All home now. Here's the trophy. Nice little extra. Taking this rest week seriously, so going to be taking just the weekend off, so not going to be riding Saturday, Sunday, and can spend Easter with the family, which will be good. Then get back to it next week, because I don't feel like I'm overtrained, or not nearly overtrained or anything like that, but first few races back, like the last 4 weeks, and it's going to be taking a toll on the system, and I was coming back from illness just before that first race. I don't think my rest weeks in the past have been sufficient to clear fatigue. Like, I just cut the volume to like 70% and like the TSS to 70%, and maybe the volume, because the volume was too high before, and then that 70% just isn't enough to clear fatigue. So the fact that I'm on like 15 hours a week, and this week's going to be like less than 10 hours, 450, 500 TSS compared to 900 TSS for the last 3 weeks. So it's a significant rest week, and then like I say, get back to it the week after, and hopefully smash in some more time trials, and maybe do a little bit better at some road races.